Hello, hello. Have you ever judged a book by a cover? Have are you doing what you're doing right now? Is this the thing you've been doing all your life? So in other words, the job that you have now, have you always been doing it? Or have you had other past job experiences? And are you an expert of many more things than what you do on your job? Today, we're talking about how to uncover the backstory. And more importantly, not only uncover your backstory, but the backstory of those you work with, know, and trust. And more importantly, the power of having a peer group that you know all of their backstory and they know all of yours. Why is this important? How can this skyrocket your reputational capital? And how can this increase your vibrational energy and the trajectory of your career or business? We're going to dig all of that today. Thanks so much for watching. I see a couple people live. I'm Laura Morlando, the Stress Commando, and I am the founder and CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. And we're going to get all into this in this episode of Networking Know-How. And I am the CEO and founder of Down and Dirty Networking, and we are a 100% relational networking community. We are all online and we are 100% relational. And so if I see people chiming in and tuning in, that's fantastic. If you're joining in, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, and join the conversation because that's what the real point is here is to really have a conversation. So how do we uncover the backstory? How do we uncover our backstory? And why is this important for your career or business? This is what we're going to unpack today. And the reason this is so important is here in Down and Dirty Networking, as a relational networking community, we believe that relational networking is very different than traditional or transactional networking. So we believe that relational networking is about having meaningful conversations to learn from and about someone to build lasting and authentic relationships. And when you uncover someone's backstory, it's exactly what you're doing by deepening that relationship with them. And there are several questions that we ask that you've probably heard me share in past videos that help you get to someone's backstory. But what this brought this to the forefront and why I'm presenting this slightly different than normally we would talk about this is earlier today, I was on a group coaching call with my coach and mentor, and this was the topic. And I felt it was very timely because they asked, how many of you have peer groups where you talk about all of the experiences and stories of your life? Now, I'm not talking, hey, this one day I was born. What I'm talking about is, do you know all of the expertise of people? And there was somebody in our group today that started sharing the various things. Did you know I was this? Did you know I had this background? Did you know I had this? And everyone's like, no. And that's what we're talking about here. I feel I'm an open book. I've shared all of these things with you that I have done that most people I feel know. The challenge is you haven't seen every one of these videos. You have not been involved in every one of these conversations. So it is possible if you are watching this live or on replay, you don't know those stories. And guess what? That's also true of the people in your sphere of influence. They don't know your expertise. They don't know your backstory. They don't know your brain power based on the experiences that you have had. And we don't know theirs. We rarely take the time to ask something more than just a superficial traditional networking, how are you? It's rare these days when you pass somebody and you say good morning, good afternoon, hello. We're so focused on getting from point A to point B, from finishing the task, getting to the next task, we don't take time to actually be present. We don't take time to physically connect. And it's not surprising that when we don't take time to connect, why there's an epidemic of loneliness. It's because we're so disconnected. And I think often it's because we're disconnected to ourselves, to our own stories, our expertise, our brain power, but to those around us. So, why is this important? How would you like to take advantage of this? How do you get to the backstory and what's the gold mine for being in here? So, first off, when you're talking to somebody and you find out, did you know, like this person that I know is like, did you know I served in the Marines? Did you know that I was a dancer with Paula Abdul? Did you know that these are all people that I know that will say these things? I'm like, no, I did not know that. Did you know that I sold everything and I'm living on experiences and only being in the States for a few months at a time and only working for a few months at a time? I'm traveling 6+ months out of the year. I did not know this. we rarely take the time to get that level of connectedness. Why is this important? One, being connected creates that sense of belonging. It increases your vibrational energy. And this is the antidote for getting off the island of alone and being a victim to the loneliness epidemic that is just being going on and on and on and getting worse and worse. It's not surprising that within the study that Cigna did for the loneliness epidemic, that they found that some of the most loneliest people were people that worked in offices surrounded by people. So it's not so much that you're isolated with, like myself, who works from home and I'm all by myself. Yes, that could contribute to being on the island of alone and to the loneliness. But loneliness doesn't mean that you're alone. You could be surrounded by people and still feeling lonely, and you could still feel disconnected. When we know someone's backstories, we're feeling more connected, and we are creating that antidote, moving away from that loneliness, moving off that island of alone. And when you know everyone's backstory, you can then know what to chat with them if there's expertise, if there's something that needs to happen. Today, I do have more than one company. In addition to Down and Dirty Networking, I'm a marketing consultant, and I was doing a VIP session today, and I was able to share advice from Down and Dirty Networking in there saying, hey, many of you may not know, but I have another company. And I gave the tip that was relevant for the thing that we needed to talk about in the marketing principle that I was demonstrating in our VIP session. Most people would not have known that, but I shared that. So, tip number one, don't be afraid to uncover your own backstory to other people. In that moment, I wasn't pitch slapping them anything, I wasn't selling them anything, but I was making it a point. I was using myself as my own case study for the thing we were talking about. So uncover your own backstory and realize, oh my gosh, this is something that could potentially be helpful to somebody else. Tip number two. I have always said that with relational networking, the best thing to do is treat everyone like your instant best friend and then be a super sleuth asking more meaningful questions to have a more meaningful conversation. So the upgrade to that would then be their instant best friend and ask, hey, what's an experience that you've had that most people don't know about you? Or what's a title? What's a job that you've done? There are so many great questions that you can ask. Now, we get a lot of people asking us, Laura, where do you guys come up with these questions? I would love to have these questions. Well, good news is we've got a new feature for you where you can have our question of the month, where we will unpack and give you a question that you can then use to ask around your day. So whether you'll be at work, whether it's with your clients, with its vendors, family members, friends, colleagues, where you can actually have these ask these questions, have a more meaningful conversation. And so when you treat someone like an instant best friend, you ask these more meaningful questions, you will be uncovering people's backstory. And then they're going to ask that question of you to allow you to uncover your backstory to them so they know all the things that you know about, so that they are aware of what you do. Now, I have been talking about networking for so many years. Luckily, I'm still known for that. And so, what are you going to be known for? What are the things that you're little known for that need to be more readily available? Now, I appreciate the conversation today with my coach about meaningful, and I appreciate the share that the person had. And it really reminded me when I heard, yes, I'm a Marine, from this person that was sharing. The Marines have a principle of three, and it's really easy to remember in threes. And I was able to leverage that and share that in the VIP session that I had today, because there were more tips that they were talking about. And I said, you know what, let's focus on three. We can remember three. Our clients can remember three things. It just simplifies things. And let's focus on that first. Let's go all in. Let's keep it stupid simple, and then we can dig deeper. We can make things more meaningful than making things more scattered. So more quality instead of quantity. And that is true when you're talking about discussions. Now, realize when we're saying networking here at Down and Dirty Networking, we're talking about having conversations. It's not about pitch slapping. It's not about 30-second commercials. It's not about elevator pitches. It's not about schmoozing. It's not about who do I know to get the thing that I want or I need. It's not a one-way conversation. It's engaging in a meaningful conversation to learn from and about someone, to build a lasting and authentic relationship. It's a very different experience when you engage at that level. And I think it's really important for us to uncover our backstory, to uncover the backstories of other people, but have a space, a peer group where we can share those stories, where we know all those stories, a space where we can have the freedom to have that conversation. And on the call this morning, they asked, how many of you have that space? And if you don't have it, create it. And I chimed in chat. I have it. I created it. That's exactly what Down and Dirty Networking was. Now, nobody else chimed in chat. I was the only one that said that I had that. So I don't know if that's true that I'm the only one, but I was so proud of that fact. We hold a space to have those conversations. And it's why when we have our member events like we did last Wednesday, everybody looks forward to it. Everybody looks forward to it every month. It raises vibrational energy. We learn so much more. Because of the type of questions that we ask, we learn so much more of the backstory of somebody else. What is the expertise and brain power that they have that we had no idea that they ever experienced or had? Because it's not something they readily talk about. And quite honestly, it's not something we readily ask about. And so, where do you have this peer group? If you have it, congratulations. Lean in hard to that. And if you don't, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, must be nice, I have a solution for you. I have two options. One, it's never too late to start. You can build it on your own. You can do it DIY. We can give you that question of the month that can get you kickstarted. If you're interested in that, drop question and we'll make sure that you actually get that. Or better yet, if you're like, Laura, I really just prefer a more turnkey, safe environment to experience what this relational networking is all about. And if that's true, drop the word waitlist. If you drop the word waitlist, I will add your name to the waitlist so that when we open registration for our event, our public event next month, you'll be the first to get the invitation. We only have 4 events per year, and our next event's going to be in July. Like I said, we have not yet opened registration. So if you would like to experience that, drop the word waitlist, and I will make sure that you're one of the first people to get the invitation so you can save your seat and experience relational networking, raise your vibrational energy, and really learn how to uncover your backstory and how stupid simple it is to uncover somebody else's and why you should care. Why is it so important to your reputational capital and the trajectory of your business and your career? I can give you the verbiage, I can give you the stats, but until you experience it, you really just don't know. You won't know until you know. And so this is why if you would love to have it, drop the word waitlist. If you're thinking, Laura, that's nice, I'm going to DIY it, then no worries. Just drop the word question and I will add you to the question of the month. So question if you want question of the month. I can't remember if that's what I said earlier, but question if you want question of the month and put waitlist if you'd like to get the invite. And if you want both, put both words and we'll make sure that you get both so that you absolutely don't miss out. I believe it can be stupid simple to stay connected, have meaningful conversations. I believe if you do it this way, it's not a huge energy spend. And I say that for my introverts out there, my fellow introverts that connecting sometimes can feel, or networking as we know it, the traditional networking can feel very much like an energy drain. But what I tell you is when you engage in a more meaningful way and a more deeply connected way, it's less of an energy spend. And for the extroverts, this works for you too because you're still connecting with people and having conversations. So this absolutely is the intersection where introverts and extroverts absolutely align and thrive. And that's with relational networking. So I encourage you, uncover your own backstory, connect to your own expertise and brain power. Sometimes when we have these conversations, the number one takeaway is, wow, I hadn't thought of that in years. And I really did do that. Yes, we need to honor what we have overcome, gained, what we've succeeded at. We need to honor how much expertise, brain power, and experience that we have accumulated. We also need to honor that of anybody else and celebrate it. And you never know, it might be coming handy. I will tell you the conversation this morning was super informative. I learned a ton about the people that I am in this group coaching program with. And I'm so grateful that I did because I already know the people I need to have a more meaningful conversation. I need to know more about what they shared. This is how you raise your vibrational energy. This is how you stay connected with a network that moves you forward, that uplifts you and makes you a better person because you want to know more about them. It's not about what can I get from them? What can I sell them? What job can I get from them? Promotion. It's not about that. And when you approach things this way and you shift the activity and you shift the skill of networking to the mindset of networking relationally, being a relational networking mindset person, that's when everything changes for you. everything changes. The whole shift into relational networking and getting off of traditional and transactional networking will work for you. Even if you are attending a traditional networking event and you are needing to do a 30-second commercial, when you engage in relational networking, come from a place of meaningfulness and you shift your mindset, your results will improve even when you're not making the results the metric with which you are networking. It's about connectedness and meaningfulness. Trust me, I've been there and I've done this for years. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop me a message or put a comment here if you're watching live or on replay. Let's continue the conversation. What is your biggest tip for uncovering the backstory? And what's your backstory? I would love to get up in the DMs and learn your backstory. So no matter what channel you're watching on, whether you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, whether you're on my channel or on the Down and Dirty Networking channel, let's have a conversation. I would love to know your backstory, and feel free to ask mine. I'd be happy to share mine. I feel like I said, I feel like an open book. I share it every Wednesday, but not everybody sees everything any more than I don't see everything. And so we need to be intentional about these types of conversations. So have fun this week uncovering the backstory. Drop the word question if you'd like to be added to the question of the month, and or drop the word waitlist if you would like to be added to the waitlist to be the first one to be invited to our event happening next month. Or if you're ambitious, drop both words and I'll make sure you get both of those things, so that you can start to really engage in meaningfulness and get off that island of alone. Really be intentional about raising your vibrational energy and watching your reputational capital really thrive, because you're known as someone who really cares, who listens, sees, and values people, versus someone who's very transactional, only in it for themselves. This is how you change that shift, change that perception, and move into a space that feels less icky, if I should use a word. So thank you so much. If this has been helpful, give me a thumbs up, put it in comments. Make sure if you do find some of these tips helpful, you want to dig in more, make sure to tune in every Wednesday afternoon sometime between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, when I go live for another episode of Networking Know-How. But if you just can't wait till Wednesdays, make sure to find the Down and Dirty Networking YouTube channel and subscribe. We've got different playlists up there of tips on how to leverage relational networking, whether you're a corporate professional, you're an entrepreneur, you're a student, doesn't matter what stage of business life, even how to network as an introvert is all on the YouTube channel. So make sure to check out the Down and Dirty Networking YouTube channel. And if you would like to get some additional thought-provoking ideas, we do have a newsletter that we put out on LinkedIn and Facebook, on the Down and Dirty Networking LinkedIn and Facebook page. And we have articles that we put up that talk about these concepts to get you thinking more relational networking minded, and help you make that shift outside of that transactional and traditional networking. So make sure to like and follow Facebook and LinkedIn for Down and Dirty Networking, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for the videos there. But of course, as always, every Wednesday, I will see you here for another episode of Networking Know-How. And until next Wednesday, happy networking, and thanks for watching live, to everybody watching live. And thank you for watching on replay. I'm so glad you are here. Now go make it a great day. Find the joy in your day and have fun uncovering yours and everyone else's backstory. Bye for now.